Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ibrahim Muhammad, I go by Ismail online, and as you can tell from the title of this video, we are going to be discussing what is happening with my law career and answering other questions that I have asked you via a Q&A on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, then at IbsMo. My LinkedIn is at Ibrahim Muhammad. Those are the only two social media platforms I use, so follow me on there. And let's get straight into the question. What happened to your law conversion degree? Law and you, do you still want to be a lawyer? What kind of lawyer do you want to be? Will you be returning to law after Oxford? Are you pursuing education or law? Why did you switch from law to education? Are you studying law now or studying education first and then law? What type of law you want to go to or any dream law firms? What type of lawyer do you want to become? Why did you do your GDL and not going to do the LPC training contract? So there are lots of questions about law. So let me just give you a quick insight as to what is happening because I know it sounds confusing. So I want to become a solicitor. So to become a solicitor, you first have to do an undergraduate degree, either in law or in my case, a non-law subject, psychology. You do that for 3 years at a university. I did mine at the University of Cambridge. You then have to go to law school where you do your GDL, the Graduate Diploma into Law, known as the conversion course, and then you have to do your LPC, the legal practice course. And you do this at a law school. You then start a training contract where you practice for 2 years and you train to become a solicitor. Then after that, you are a qualified solicitor. So there is an undergraduate degree at your chosen university. There is the law school years, and then there is the training. Now, one thing to note is that the GDL and the LPC, if you're doing it at law school, can be paid via the law firm that you're training at. So in terms of application stage, when you're at university, that's when you apply for a training contract at a law firm, which then will pay and sponsor you to do the GDL and the LPC. Otherwise, if you do not get a training contract at a law firm, you will then have to pay for yourself to do the GDL and the LPC, but you still have to get a training contract for you to start the training. I feel like that is as clear as I can make it. I should be going on to my LPC next, but instead I'm doing a master's. So where did this come from? Okay, so here's the reality. I have only been pursuing a career in law for 1 year, literally August 2019 to August 2020. And this year consisted of me obtaining 2 international legal internships, 1 UK vacation scheme, completing the graduate diploma into law, and also attending open days, attending assessment centres, making applications, having 1 training contract interview. Now, the reason why I self-funded GDL myself without getting help from a law firm was because I did not want to be tied down to a law firm. Because in reality, if they're paying for it, that means once I complete my GDL and then the LPC, I then have to start at that law firm. I didn't want to be tied down to a certain law firm because I didn't even know what type of law I wanted to get into. My international legal internship in Pakistan was mixed with so much aspects of law. My internship in Kuala Lumpur was mixed. That introduced me to Sharia law. And then my vacation scheme in the UK was a UK-based vacation scheme. So things were very different. And I feel like I'm still learning about what type of law I want to get into. The GDL opened my eyes to different aspects of law, going to Cambridge and socializing with different law students, and now having a network where there are trainee solicitors in this field, and there are barristers in this field. I still want to carry on learning about what law firms I want to apply to, where I see myself, and that takes time. There are going to be many applications made. This field is very competitive. There will be many times where I get rejected. I would rather just wait to get a training contract where they can pay for the LPC. I don't want to self-fund it myself. It's a lot of money. Before I start the LPC and before I start applying for law firms, I just want a bit of time to research. And during that time, why not get a master's? I have always wanted to get a master's. It was something that I wanted to obtain on a personal level for myself, also for my future kids. I want my kids to grow up and know that their dad had a master's. I also want to do research about something I'm passionate about. Also, because I have scholarships, alhamdulillah, like I don't have to worry about financing it. And also, it's at Oxford. So it's going to be a huge investment in my career, and it's on education. I made it very clear in my recent video where I said why I'm switching from psychology to law, that education will always be my end game. It would always be my end goal. And what I'm learning now is that I can pursue that passion, which is education, through law. The typical law student spends, 3 years realizing that they want to do law and then trying to figure out what career in law they want to have next. For me, it's just been a year, so I'm still learning. It could take me 10 years to become a lawyer, because training contracts are hard to secure. Some people can get them within 3 months, some people can get rejected, and some people can spend years getting a training contract. While that is going to be my goal, I am aware that there are going to be things I want to do in the meantime. And I'm very happy that for the past 3 years during my undergrad, I was able to create a platform by making YouTube videos for the past 3 years. I was able to tutor. I'm a tutor in A-level sociology and psychology, and I have that going on for me. I also have now somehow got into the field of recruitment for education and online communication and strategies for education, and so there are a couple of things that I'm doing in the meantime. So to answer that question, I still am pursuing a career in law. I am as serious as ever, I am as committed and determined as ever, but until I am able to conduct all my research, make the best applications I can make, I want to spend some time doing so. And while I am doing that, I'm getting a master's in a subject I am passionate about, and also it's giving me content for my YouTube channel. So if you want to stay tuned for the Oxford vlogs, and make sure you subscribe, because every Tuesday and Friday at 6 p.m. we release videos. So it's a great decision and it's a huge investment, but the career path is the same. I will become a solicitor. It's just about where and when. So that was the most popular questions asked on the Instagram Q&A. And then the second most popular question was to do with relationships. But before I get into that, let's take an ad break, because we're about to go deep and it'll be great if I can make some money at least from this and to pay my bills. So we're going to ad break and we'll talk very serious after. It's funny because despite the fact that my channel is very much based on trying to inspire kids who come from disparate backgrounds to get into education, that video where I spoke about my past relationship seemed to be so popular, and that is something that a lot of individuals message me for. I feel like in my friendship groups, I'm actually the person that people come to when it comes to breakup. So that's, I don't know if that's something I am proud of. And the reason why I think that video did so well was because it was about first relationships when you're a student. And I think that that is actually quite common for a lot of us. Have I moved on? Yes. And how do I know this? Because I no longer care. When the breakup did happen, naturally, I would probably think about it and I would stalk their page maybe almost every day in the first couple of months. Now it's gone to the point where you go by your day, you go by weeks, you go by months, and you just don't think about it. So I've very much moved on. Sometimes I get triggered when I see everyone asking about it, but I'm trying to profit off it and make money, so. And why it was a big part of my life, because there was so much going on for me at the time and it halted everything. And only now are things picking up. And the things I learned from that relationship that has helped me in terms of personal growth, I think the first thing is that it helps set a bar. So for the first time in my life, I now have a bar of what is bad. There were quite a few red flags, and now I know if someone on a romantic basis or even in a friendship basis portrays or conveys behaviors that are similar to this bar, and if they're near it or under it, then I don't want them in my life. So it's nice to have that. The second thing that it taught me is that I don't actually know what love is, or I didn't know at the time. I don't know about you guys, but I never grew up with positive representation of love. I come from a single mother household. All the relationships I saw growing up were to do with divorce, domestic violence, emotional abuse. Everything was toxic. I never saw what love is really. And then on a very personal and very vulnerable, I've also never seen positive love towards me. I don't remember one of my parents ever sitting down to me and saying like, I love you, or you're good enough, or anything like that. One parent I hardly see in my life growing up. The other parent dips in and out. I don't really know much about either or. I've been very independent for quite a long time, and so I never really had a chance to like have a parental bond and have that love, which is the first love that you were supposed to get. So of course, when the first person says I love you, and whether it's toxic or not, that's the first time I got it, and so I'm gonna hold on to it, and then when it ends, I'm gonna be so upset. That's not good in any shape or form. I need to not reproduce that by making sure that when I have my kids, that I love them and I set a standard from a parental unconditional love basis. This is what love looks like. When someone says I love you, instead of thinking, oh my god, it's the only love I'm gonna have, let me just analyze it further. Is it positive or is it negative? Is it toxic or is it functional? And in that case, it was toxic. And next time I can just analyze it further, which I couldn't do before because I needed to have a first love to realize what love is. And I realized that it actually wasn't love. It was just infatuation. And I think where a lot of people have first relationships at a young age, I didn't have that. or a lot of South Asian people have first relationships in their arranged marriage. Because I'm not really going to have an arranged marriage, it means that this was my first experience and my baseline, and I'm happy. Yeah, it taught me a lot. They're still trash, but it taught me a lot. So does my heart feel strong again? Yes, it does feel strong. And it's just funny because, you know, when you're in the breakup stage, you think life is awful and everything is crumbling, and it's so hard to see that time is a healing factor. And everyone would say to me, time will heal. And I'm like, I don't want time to heal, I just want to do. And I think what you have to remember is just take advantage of this breakup and do things that you wouldn't do if you were in a relationship. And for me, it was traveling to Malaysia. And Malaysia, traveling December 2018, completely changed my life in every aspect. So I'm happy it happened. And the third most popular questions were to do with my mental health, which is so nice. I can't believe people are asking, how are you? I just told you guys that I'm not really used to my parents asking me, how are you, and stuff like that. So it's nice to see people ask me, how are you? So how are you? How is your mental health? Specifically lockdown. For those who don't know, I actually spent lockdown by myself. I was by myself for 6 months in a studio. I was pretty much by myself for almost 6 months in my studio at Cambridge from beginning till end. No family, no friends. I saw the postman now and then. I was cooking and cleaning and studying completely by myself. Of course I had friends via FaceTime and stuff like that, but I was pretty much by myself in one room. It would drive someone absolutely crazy. In the first weeks it was really hard, but I actually ended up really liking it. And I also took a massive break off YouTube, and I didn't publish anything for months. I didn't really upload anything on Instagram either, and it was nice to kind of ghost and be by myself for a bit, to spend time with myself and like learn to love my company. It also made me realize what's important to me, what I want in my life, and what my purpose in life is, which sounds so deep, but what bigger way to learn about the deepest things in life than being alone for 6 months. I was able to think, what is it that makes me happy when the world is so doom and gloom right now? Who are the most important people in my life right now when individuals in the world are passing away? And what's important to me? What do I want? We're realizing life is so short, so much has happened in 2020. And I think for me, some things I've realized is in terms of my purpose in life, like I want to be a family man. It means so much to me to have a family and to have kids and be a father. It sounds so weird to say, but I really want to have kids, whether that's with someone or whether I do it by myself. I want to be a family man. I want to be close to my future mother-in-law, whoever that is. I want to have dinner at the table. I want to be involved in my child's education. I also really want to be a knowledgeable person. I want to be well networked, and I really want to be a good lawyer. And when it comes to things related to education and law, I want to be one of the top people on everyone's lips. Oh, you have a problem with your school, or you have a problem with teaching, or you have a problem with school, or you have a problem with this. Ibsmo. Ibrahim Muhammad is the lawyer to go to. That is what I want. Someone said on my recent videos that you've calmed down a lot, actually. So that was a question that somebody asked me, and that's just because I first started this YouTube channel, that social media was such a big validation for me. It's what got me through bullying, and I owe so much because you guys have changed my life. And taking a step back and realizing that actually social media isn't for me. While I want to be successful, I want my success to come from my work. I'm not worried about likes and subscribes and comments. I just want to make sure I regularly upload every Tuesday and Friday, and this is content that is of good quality. So for those who have seen a different side of Ibs, even when it comes to dealing with rejections, dealing with drama, I just feel like I've grown up. And maybe it comes with age, maybe it comes to the fact that I've had to grow up very quickly. I'm growing up, I know what I want in life, and I am proactive in trying to get it. So I'm happy. This is the new and improved Ibs, Ibrahim Muhammad, and I am very excited for the future. That is it. I think that is enough personal questions. I feel like I've now gone through a therapy session. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you all so much for just everything that you've done for me again. Okay, now we're getting too deep.